help when I just slammed my drawer. But I've moved the microphone a bit further away from me. I think maybe I was blowing it out by being too loud. I hope you can hear me all right. I hope that it's
Wix, one platform, any website, unlimited creation.
Hang on. Sorry. That's my my tab where I was getting the chat. I had the video, the live open. Anyway, hello. I am volume is good. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, so I knew that this was coming out, but I did not know that it was coming out today. I have spoken about this a bit on my Patreon. Also, this is not related. This is not related at all. I just want to do it first. This shirt is the exact same as my green cleavage shirt, except for it's in a different pattern, and it's like a little bit thicker of a material. I'm so happy with it. I found it. I went to TJ Maxx hoping to find something that would kind of hit the same buttons as the green shirt, and then I saw another shirt with this same like tie situation, and I was like, oh my god, it's the same one. So I guess my new thing now is I'm gonna just continually go to TJ Maxx and see how many versions of this exact shirt I can buy for $8, because like $8 for this is great. But I haven't had a chance to stream in this one yet, and I bought it after I finished filming the Twilight video, so it's not in that one. I just wanted to mention it. I also got like these little green flowy pants. I'm very into this little outfit. So thank you very much, everyone. Sorry, I do need to clear my throat real quick. Sorry about that. But yeah, thank you. I love this outfit. I'm really excited about it, and I'm really, really excited about this Guardian article. So yeah, I have mentioned this on my Patreon before because I knew that it was coming. I had this this call last week, so it happened pretty fast after we had that call, honestly. But I didn't know when it was coming out. I wasn't sure. And I'm really, really excited about it. I like walked back in my Patreon video earlier this week. I was like, oh, like my interview with the Guardian. And then I was like, that sounds way more intense than I think it actually is. Like, I was just quoted in this. Like, I might be quoted in it. I was trying really hard to manage my expectations. And then I wake up this morning and I get the email from Steve saying like, hey, it's up. Do you want a hard copy? Here's the link. And I'm like in the headline, which is just so exciting and so cool. So that's what I would like to look at today. I did already link it in the description below. And I've also posted it on Blue Sky and over on my community tab, but I'm just gonna put myself over in the little attic here, and then we can read it together and talk a little bit about what that experience was like. So let me just get my tab open here. This is by Steve Rose, the assistant features editor at The Guardian. And is this the right tab? Yes, it is. Let me just make it look a little prettier. I need to adjust how I'm zoomed in here. Actually, I think it might not matter once I'm past the headline. Yeah. So obviously we already have the headline on the bottom, and then let me just see how does it center once I'm actually reading. It doesn't. Okay, we'll figure it out. Also, the Twilight video, the Breaking Dawn Part 1 video, that's coming out at 2 p.m. today. So we'll be finished here by then, and I'm not gonna do like a live premiere because I've heard that those can sometimes like hurt like the overall numbers for a video. So even though I like the idea of doing a live chat on a video that I've like made, I'm just gonna make it public at 2 p.m. and then everyone can watch it at the same time. But feel free to leave comments as you watch. Okay, so stayed up a bit just to say hi and congrats, but I should sleep now. Midnight 30 here. Have a great rest of your day. I'll catch the replay. Have a good rest of your night. That's funny. I saw you before I went to bed, and then now again, and then you saw me on two sides of the same time that you were awake. Amazing. Okay. Yeah, I missed the live last night. I'm glad I didn't miss this one. Me too. I'm glad that you got here. Yes, perfect. I'm really happy so many people were able to jump in. I feel like it's been quite a while since I've been able to live during the day, so this is nice. So, okay. This is the article. It's called "It's the Misogyny Slop Ecosystem: How Candace Owens and the American Right Declared War on Blake Lively." Remember Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard? If you thought that was ugly, wait till you see Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. As the stars of It Ends With Us swap lawsuits over claims of sexual harassment, the conservative media has picked its side, and it's not pulling any punches. Rarely has a film been so unpresciently named as It Ends With Us. This domestic abuse drama was released in August 2024 and was a huge success, earning over $350 million worldwide. But that was only the beginning. What has followed is an off-screen conflagration. Sorry, that's a tough word for me. What has followed is an off-screen conflagration that is not only threatening to consume the careers of the film's lead actors, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, but continues to set social media and the entertainment industry ablaze. We've still got a long way to go before it really ends. A trial is set for March 2026. It's easy to see why this case attracted so much attention initially. Everyone loves a good celebrity dust-up, but having begun as just another Hollywood feud designed to be adapted into a prestige miniseries a decade hence, the Lively-Baldoni saga is morphing into something larger and possibly more ominous. For one thing, the case drags the dark arts of celebrity public relations into the spotlight like never before. For another, it has attracted an inordinate amount of attention from right-wing political figures in the United States. Combine these two trends, and we are seeing a disturbing blurring of lines between genuine and manufactured public opinion and between celebrity and political discourse. Picture of the two of them on the rooftop. The ins and outs of the saga itself are almost too labyrinth to follow. In a nutshell, Lively alleges that Baldoni sexually harassed her during the making of It Ends With Us. In the story, Lively falls in love with an abusive man played by Baldoni. He alleges that Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, tried to take control of the film, which Baldoni also directed and co-produced. In a flurry of suits and countersuits, each side has alleged misconduct and accused the other of orchestrating a smear campaign against them. Many Hollywood figures and organizations have come out in support of Lively, but America's right wing has taken an inordinate interest in the case and is overwhelmingly siding with Baldoni. This part's wild. Fox News, for example, has run nearly 80 stories on the case on its website this year. Joe Rogan mentioned it on his podcast with comedian Brendan Schaub, accusing Lively and Reynolds of trying to take over the movie. And then there's Candace Owens, who has discussed the case at least 25 times this year on her YouTube show and podcast, eagerly responding to each new development in granular detail. Owens' allegiance is unambiguous. "She's proven herself not to be a kind person," she said of Lively in January, and that's largely due to the fact that she is a modern feminist. Oh my goodness! Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, thank you. Thank you, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'll go look for another $8 top at TJ Maxx. Another couple of them. I really, really appreciate the super chat. That's so kind of you. And also, in general, I really appreciate how many of you are like here to celebrate with me and be excited about that. This is really cool. Like, this is just, it's genuinely, it's just so cool. Thank you. By focusing on such ostensibly apolitical celebrity content, Owens has boosted her following considerably, appealing to viewers, predominantly female, who may have little interest in right-wing politics or knowledge of her more extreme beliefs, which range from downplaying the Holocaust to appearing with Kanye West in a White Lives Matter t-shirt, alleging that Brigitte Macron, wife of French President Emmanuel, is a man, and calling sorry, I'm just saying so much, and calling Vladimir Zelensky a welfare queen. now we are seeing articles headlined, "How Candace Owens is Uniting Conservatives and Liberals with Her It Ends With Us" coverage. Although that has appeared in conservative-leaning women's magazine Evie, whose coverage has also been largely anti-Lively. I'm pretty sure Evie is a Peter Thiel-backed thing as well. I think. I'm pretty sure. I think that Evie is the one who published that that article that I read about like how Rachel Ziegler killed Lucy Gray Baird or whatever, that made me so mad, and I posted about it on Blue Sky, and someone was like, "This isn't even worth being mad about because this is literally a Peter Thiel organization." I'm pretty sure that was Evie. I can't think of who else that would have been other than Evie. Just the sheer amount of resources the right has put into this should at least give the pro-Baldoni pause. Why would they be supporting an ultra-left feminist man? Exactly. And people are so convinced that even though all these right-wing people have circled, it's not political. Even like, I should clarify. So I still don't look at my own Snark Reddit, but I looked at the Baldoni Files Reddit earlier today, and somebody had posted this article, and then somebody else posted, "Oh, look, they already also posted it in the Justin Baldoni subreddit." And then I looked in the Team Justin Baldoni subreddit, and they're like bitching about me not having a high school diploma, which I don't care. But also they they were saying like this has nothing to do with politics. Like they're trying to make this political and has nothing to do with politics. Why did Megyn Kelly talk about it at CPAC then? If this is not political, why are Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens talking about it? Like, I'm sorry that you cannot see this. It doesn't make me the stupid one. I'm sorry you feel really insecure about me being smarter than you when I don't have a diploma, but like, if you can't tell, it's really on you at this point. This is a political thing. I always make this point, but like, it's especially a political thing right now when like the EEOC was crucial to Blake Lively getting her right to sue, right? It is a political thing right now to be having your big statement be women be lying, and the EEOC is giving frivolous right to sues as the Republicans are gutting the EEOC. Like somebody one time tried to come at me and they were like, "What? You said that it's a Republican position to be pro-sexual harassment." Yeah, first of all, look at who they elected. Second of all, look at what they're doing to the EEOC. Look at what they're doing to any kind of, like, measure of justice for victims. Like, it is objectively, I believe, a conservative viewpoint to be pro-sexual harassment in the workplace. And then Blake Lively being the poster child for that, being the poster child for women who complain about sexual harassment in the workplace are villains and terrible and liars. Like, if you can't see that you are playing a political game, you are maybe not intelligent enough to be part of this conversation. That's what I think. I'm gonna put myself back in. Well, I should read some comments before I put myself back in the attic. I can see the chat is moving. Yes, yeah, people in the wild saying Candace Owens is covering this better than you. I have seen that too, and it's like like again, I love how much context Steve immediately put in for what Candace Owens' beliefs are, because I cannot imagine ever possibly thinking that I agree with her about like anything. Even if we somehow came out thinking the same thing, I would need to rethink the thing that I thought that I agreed with her about. But especially if it was like hating a woman. It's God, yeah. I'm waiting for Baloney Meow Meow to join Russell Brand's podcast or Jordan Peterson. Yeah, I could see that. She stole the movie. I don't know. I don't know how good of a Jordan Peterson impression that is. I don't think I've ever done one out loud before. Okay. Yeah, all right. Yes. So, yeah, it's pretty telling to what side of history you're on to look around and see the allies on your side. I agree. Mm-hmm. Also, basically everything is political. If you don't understand that, then your critical thinking skills and media literacy is lacking. Exactly. I was trying to do a sad Kermit, but it kind of caught in my throat a little bit because I got embarrassed. I was like, she stole the movie, which I don't think, that's not quite a Kermit voice. I can't do a Kermit voice. I need to practice that off cam. I don't think I have a good Ben Shapiro impression, but I do have the Ben Shapiro cadence in my head, and I often will like find myself talking to my cat in like a stupid fucking Ben Shapiro cadence, and I'll be like, so hypothetically, let's say there's a little kitty cat and she's so sleepy, and then I'm like, why am I doing this to my cat? My cat doesn't need to know about Ben Shapiro. Why am I doing a half-ass Ben Shapiro impression to my cat? You see, it's not political because all of the right-wing think tanks are covering it and are overwhelmingly in support of baloney. Right. Mm-hmm. Yes, Latu will be insufferable. Have you heard of the YouTuber Colonel Kurtz? I'd be interested to hear you respond to their opinions. That's the one who showed up with the like Justice for Justin t-shirt and the sign, right, at the Simple Favor premiere. I do not like that woman. Like I'm pretty sure that there's like some like actual like I think there's some alt-right shit that she is like very much in bed with, like to an even greater extent than some of the other kind of pick-me women that I see in these spaces. She makes me uniquely really angry. Yeah. Okay. It's bonkers to me that people will go, you know, the other side is crazy when I agree with insert historically atrocious person, and they just won't critically consider what they're saying. Yes, yeah, yes. Like, okay, literally nothing could make me agree with Candace Owens. This isn't even funny. This is actually kind of upsetting. There was like a little bit, I don't know how like widespread of a thing this is, or if it was just some like late stage Kaylers trying to cause drama. But somebody was trying to get Candace Owens to do like a series because she's doing like this big transvestigation on the Prime Minister's wife. They were like, hey, we're gonna start sending Candace Owens all of our like Gayler stuff from us all daydreaming that Taylor Swift is gay. And I don't like that. And I literally was like, I have said before that I think that it's for the most part pretty fine as long as you're not trying to involve Taylor Swift herself in it to like project whatever you want to. I find so much more enjoyment and value in Taylor Swift's music by projecting this like whole narrative onto it that I think has little to nothing to do with Taylor Swift. But I literally was like, I would need to disavow all of my little Gayler jokes and fantasies and daydreams. I would need to disavow that if Candace Owens came out and started making Gayler content. And also, like, that was wild. That they should not have been doing that. But I literally, like, I was like, as much as I've thought that it's fine for me to pretend like Taylor Swift is secretly bisexual, I think if Candace Owens started saying that, because you know if Candace Owens was saying that, she would be doing it in the like, this is an evil, terrible, lying woman who's being manipulative, blah, blah, blah. And like, that is not the way in which I enjoy a lesbian interpretation of Ivy by Taylor Swift, right? Like, let's say, hypothetically, there was a meow meow, and let's assume, for the sake of argument, that he was wet. Now, it's reasonable to state, therefore, that he would be sad, correct? Yeah, that was really good. Okay, let's continue with our article read here. Jojo, you want to come over here, meow meow? Come here. She's just hanging out on the bed. She doesn't really want to. All right. Another right-wing commentator with a newfound interest in the case is Megyn Kelly, the former Fox News presenter. In February, at the Conservative Political Action Conference, Kelly made Lively Baldoni the central topic of her onstage presentation. She described Lively as an avatar for leftist overreach and attempted to tie the case to a broader right-wing grievance narrative. You've been gaslit to high heaven every time you've picked up a newspaper in the United States. Every time you've turned on CNN, you have been the victim of overbearing and controlling leftists who think they are the final arbiters of what's best for you and your life. In the same way the manosphere has used male-oriented sports and fitness content as a gateway into far-right politics, some are seeing this new celebrity focus as a way to draw women down the same path and calling it the womanosphere. Taking to heart Andrew Breitbart's famous dictum that politics is downstream from culture, the right's goal has long been to take back the culture, as self-tagged #conservative influencer Abby Shapiro, sister of right-wing commentator Ben, proclaimed in a 2020 YouTube video titled "Conservative Women, It's Our Time." Which I mentioned this, I mentioned this video. I understand why some things didn't make it because I talked so much, but I remembered this video because of the A Bit Fruity podcast episode with Moira Donegan from In Bed with the Right. Matt from A Bit Fruity played this clip, and it was like fresh in my head because I had recently rewatched that episode, and that was where I was like, oh my god, Abby Shapiro was saying that, and she was right that they did take back the culture. Oh, Josh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Ben Shapiro is insufferable. I would rather listen to nails on a chalkboard before I listen to Shapiro's face. One of my friends calls him Shit Piro. Yes. Owens is horrible as well. I agree. Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Thank you very much for the super chat. So now this is where I am, and that's when I was like summarizing that I had listened to that episode of A Bit Fruity, where Abby Shapiro was saying it's time to take back the culture, conservative women. I used to think that sounded really silly, says feminist YouTuber Ofidoki of Shapiro's message. And then fast forward to 2025, and that's who people are listening to about things like Hollywood pop culture gossip, which I did assume until very recently would be a more liberal conversation. It truly is not anymore. It does feel very dominated by conservatives, and intentionally so. It's not just right-wing figures weighing in against Lively. Everyone seems to be at it. Go on X or YouTube or TikTok and you'll be served up an endless stream of videos discussing and analyzing the case in forensic detail, overwhelmingly from an anti-Lively point of view. Content creators have been in a feeding frenzy over the case. There are celebrity gossip tea channels, body language experts, AI-powered pseudo-journalism, all supported by an army of mommy sleuths. Laptop detectives whose examination of every nuance of the case often verges on conspiracy theory. Is Lively out for revenge because she was secretly in love with Baldoni? Is Lively's new comms manager, Nick Shapiro, a former CIA agent using black box tricks to stifle negative stories? Did she burp and fart all the time on the set of Gossip Girl? Content scrutinizing Baldoni's behavior or background in similar detail is much harder to find. All this activity has whipped up a maelstrom of clickbait. Content creators, celebrity media, and prominent public figures feeding off each other's output, recycling and regurgitating the same low-quality, primarily anti-woman information, all boosted by engagement, targeting social media algorithms. It's a perfect storm, says Doki. She calls it the misogyny slop ecosystem. He did offer to use my last name, but I said that I thought that being cited as Ofidoki would probably be better for like the channel and like my branding. But I think says Doki is really funny. I think it's really endearing. I think it's really funny. I also hope she burped and farted constantly. That's like when they say that she got Army Hammer fired, and it's like, okay, that's fine. So the mommy sleuths thing is kind of interesting because it's a thing that Candace Owens was saying like as like a laudatory thing, and then people were self-identifying with it really proudly. And then there was an article in Glamour that used mommy sleuths derogatorily after people had been using it as like their own self-identifier thing. So to me, even though I want to say that I think mommy sleuths does come across a little bit degrading, I also think that because it's something that people were okay with and now they're not, it gives me the same thing as like, it's okay for me to be a TERF and to call myself a TERF, but then if you call me a TERF, I'm gonna say that you're calling me names, is the same thing as the mommy blogger, as the mommy sleuth thing kind of feels like to me. Obviously that was a hypothetical. I am not saying that I am a TERF. I am saying that it's like when people are TERFs and they don't like being used. They don't like the word for what they are being used, even though they used to like TERF before they decided TERF was a slur. You know what I mean? I'm probably over-explaining that, but I just panicked because I decided to like summarize that argument in the worst possible way. Don't they know your real last name is YouTube videos? YouTube videos said. Okay. Oh, and then here we go. We got, this is good too. As an example, she points to a clip followers of the Lively Baldoni case. As an example, she points to a clip followers of the Lively Baldoni case will doubtless have seen several times. An interview Lively did while promoting a Woody Allen movie in 2016, in which she was judged to have been rude to Norwegian journalist Kirsty Flaw. Flaw says, "Congrats on your little bump," to Lively, who was pregnant at the time. "Congrats on your little bump," Lively replies to Flaw, who is not pregnant. The amount of people who have recirculated that clip and who have spoken about that specific interaction, and then they'll make like 20 or 30 minutes of content about it, and their audience will eat it up because they also thought she was really rude in that clip, says Doki. And it's like, if everybody wasn't recycling that clip, you wouldn't have known about it because that happened 10 years ago. Flaw, incidentally, is now selling Justice for Justin t-shirts on her Etsy site. I did tell him about that. I did tell him about the Etsy shop and about the shirts and how Justice for Justin and Justice for Johnny all tie together. I was so happy he included that little Marty called it a little sucker punch earlier. I'm so glad he mentioned the t-shirts. It makes me so happy. Kirsty had to blink with her eye when she saw this. I think you also mentioned blinking with your eyes last night in chat, and I forgot to say so, but I thought it was so funny. I had completely forgotten. About blinking with her eyes. That's so funny. I love this article, managing to sum up Kirsty in a single sentence. Yeah, seriously. I'm betting she will probably make a video about this article because she makes a video about everything, but I'm not sure if she's gonna read it far enough to see that I'm quoted. But maybe she will if somebody sends it to her. Okay. So then this part. Probably misogyny slop has always existed, Doki says, citing figures such as Anita Hill or Monica Lewinsky, who were vilified in the pre-digital media age. But I feel like around the time of the Depp versus Heard trial, there was this real increase in social clout, almost, in making fun of women who are alleging abuse. And I also posted about this on Blue Sky. Hopefully this is interesting. If you wanted to just read the article, obviously you could just do that, but I'm kind of like taking you through it. I 100% understand why this got cut for time because I talked so much. Like, he called me and we talked for half an hour and I was just running my mouth the whole time. He was talking to me and he was asking me, like, what do you think the origins are of misogyny slop? Like, how do you think this started? And that's why I was saying, like, it's probably already existed forever. But I also made the comparison of, like, for years, for decades, you had, as a mainstay of Saturday Night Live, people acting out and making fun of people who were alleging abuse. You had people who were making fun of victims, but they were doing it on SNL. So the real difference now isn't that victims are being laughed at for the first time, but it's like a decentralization of who gets to enjoy the laughs and the positive attention from doing that mocking, because it used to be something that was just happening on TV, and now it's happening in everybody's living room. Like, it's happening while everybody's recording themselves for TikTok. So I think that, like, I 100% understand why he cut that, but also I think about that constantly, about, like, it was not a new phenomenon that people were willing to make fun of Amber on the stand and all of that, because, like, we were used to that societally. But I do think it was kind of a new phenomenon of, like, people, again, like, getting so much social clout, and, like, you can get hundreds of thousands of views or whatever for, like, lazy content, just repurposing the same 5 clips of pretending like Amber Heard did cocaine on the stand or whatever. Like, I don't know. But it just, I really loved having the chance to, like, talk about all of this also with him, because I feel like it helped me too to, like, solidify some ideas that I kind of had banging around. Like, when he mentions in this, like, how many times Candace Owens will update on every little thing, he says, he mentioned, like, do you think that part of all of the pro-Justin stuff being so, like, conspiratorial and, like, out of control, and there being, like, so many steps to everything, like, is that part of how they get people to feel like they need to stay tuned in and they need to not miss anything? And I think that is exactly true. Like, I think that how convoluted everything is helps people feel like they need to be, like, really, really keeping up, or else they will be out of the loop. And so then that gives an incentive to the people who are covering it to, like, talk about the most convoluted, bizarre bullshit that they can, so that they can make their audience feel like they have all of the information, even though it's, like, a bunch of bullshit and low quality information. And then those same people come to me and they comment on my videos and they say, you don't talk about every piece of information. There's been more stuff that comes out, even though I talk about the things that are relevant. Yeah, exactly. All the Jay Leno jokes about Monica, but now it's crowdsourced. Exactly. Looks like Kirsty posted a video about this already 45 minutes ago. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let me we can't watch it because I don't want to risk a copyright strike from her. My other one from the research stream falls off on I think the 25th or the 27th or something like that. This is so offensive and they keep lying. 46 minutes ago. And then the thumbnail is her, like, and it says, I am fuming, space, exclamation mark. Yeah, she 100% would strike me for reacting to that, but I'll look at the transcript later. Yeah, probably unsurprising that she would. Also, what, were we lying about you having merch, Kirsty? Are we lying about that? Did you take your Etsy shop down? Were they lying when they said you were selling Justice for Justin t-shirts? What's the lie? Oh, I haven't seen her movie, but I did watch her TED Talk, like, when I was, like, a teenager and it came out. And I remember really enjoying her TED Talk, and I'd love to revisit it, especially when I'm doing, like, the hate train content that I've been working on. I definitely need to rewatch that. Maybe we could do a live stream together of Monica Lewinsky's TED Talk, because I doubt that Monica Lewinsky would copyright strike me. That might be fun. Okay, so continuing with the article. All of this feels a long way from Lively's original complaint, which was that Baldoni was abusive towards her. When filming of It Ends With Us resumed after the actors' strikes in January 2024, Lively only agreed to continue if Baldoni signed a 17-point agreement for the physical and emotional safety of her and her team, according to a legal complaint she filed with the California Civil Rights Department. The conditions include an intimacy coordinator must be present at all times when Lively is on set, no discussions of personal experiences with sex or nudity, including as it relates to conduct with spouses or others, no spontaneous improvising of any scenes involving physical touching, simulated sex, or nudity. The filing also complained that Baldoni criticized Lively's weight and body, that he entered her dressing room without permission while she was breastfeeding, and, bizarrely, that he claimed he could speak to her dead father. Baldoni responded with a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times, which broke the story, denying Lively's claims and alleging that they had cherry-picked and altered communication stripped of necessary context. The same day, Lively filed a federal lawsuit against Team Baldoni, repeating the allegations made in her initial filing. In response to that, in January this year, Baldoni filed a $400 million lawsuit against Lively, her publicist, and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, accusing them of attempting to take control of the film and detailing a long list of rebuttals and counter-allegations. It's become less a matter of he said, she said, than he sued, she sued. We've been here before, and not that long ago. In 2022, the entertainment world was gripped by another trial of the century, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. The similarities are striking. A famous woman alleging abuse, a famous man counterclaiming victim status himself, and online opinion apparently coming down heavily in favor of the man. Hashtags such as hashtag justice for Johnny Depp and hashtag Amber Heard is an abuser dominated social media ahead of the US trial. Depp initially sued the Sun newspaper in the UK for calling him a wife beater and lost. He then sued Heard in the United States for defamation and won. Data experts later found that much of Depp's social media support was inorganic, spread by accounts that were suspiciously coordinated, prolific, recently activated, and/or single-minded in their focus on Depp versus Heard and nothing else. An in-depth investigation by Tortoise Media suggested most of the anti-Heard activity was almost certainly manufactured, and pointed fingers at hired troll farms in the Middle East. A similar pattern is emerging with Lively Baldoni, says Zuhan Chen, founder of social media data analyst Information Tracer. Chen helped investigate the Depp-Heard online activity, and he has been looking at Lively Baldoni. In his analysis of the top 500 tweets on the subject, he found that support is overwhelmingly pro-Baldoni, sharing hashtags like hashtag Blake Lively is a liar and hashtag justice for Justin Baldoni by a ratio of 1 to 150 to 1 to 300, depending on what metric you use. Judging by the age of the accounts and the number of times they have posted, I would estimate more than 80% of pro-Justin Baldoni posts are inorganic. That is wild. That is wild. 80% is wild. As well as the abuse allegations, Lively's complaint alleged a multi-tiered plan that Mr. Baldoni and his team described as social manipulation, designed to destroy Ms. Lively's reputation, and that they created, planted, amplified, and boosted content designed to eviscerate Ms. Lively's credibility. The filing included text exchanges between Baldoni's publicist, Jennifer Abel, and crisis communications expert, Melissa Nathan. In one exchange, Abel writes to Nathan that Baldoni wants to feel like Lively can be buried. Nathan writes, "You know we can bury anyone." In another exchange, commenting on a shift in online sentiment against Lively and for Baldoni, Nathan writes to Abel, "And socials are really ramping up in his favor. She must be furious. It's actually sad because it just shows you have people really want to hate on women." Baldoni's lawyers argue that the text exchanges lack critical context and that Lively is using the same PR tactics she is accusing Baldoni's side of implementing. Hollywood has always used PR and behind-the-scenes media influence to construct or dismantle a celebrity's reputation, says Professor Sarah Bannett-Weiser of the Annenberg School for Communication at the University of Pennsylvania, who researches gender and media. But what happens in the current moment of unregulated, unmoderated digital media that circulates so fast and that has so many nodes? You can make it look like it's grassroots when, in fact, it's very calculated and very intentional. And I think Marty mentioned this earlier in chat, but these other people who are being like quoted alongside me is one of the most validating things like that I possibly could have been dropped into. Like, these are like actual subject matter experts, and that is like such an amazing validation and like just like excitement of like people feeling that there is value in what I do. It's really, really cool. So I'm just I'm really stoked about this. I feel like I'm in great company here with these other sources that he cited. From their supporters' perspectives, the victimhood is the other way round, and it is men like Depp and Baldoni who are being persecuted. One Hollywood crisis management veteran described Lively Baldoni to me as a come-to-Jesus moment. The Me Too movement was brought on by liberal progressives who started a movement of let's believe all women all the time, no matter what. And slowly but surely, that shroud has been breaking. Parentheses here, and I love so much that he put these parentheses here because we talked about this. We literally had an entire conversation about this. In fact, hashtag MeToo's initial slogan was just believe women, not believe all women. I ranted at this poor man for quite a while about how angry it makes me that I am argued against with a straw man argument of believe all women when that is not something that I or anyone I have ever known or listened to have ever said. Like, we talked so much about, like, just that people argue against feminism from a misunderstanding of what the feminist argument even is. And so they get to decide both the tone of like what the cultural conversation is right now and also the tone of what people think they're responding to from feminists, because people aren't going and listening to feminists themselves. And I mean, Bell Hooks even talks about this. Bell Hooks talks about this in Feminism is for Everybody. She talks about how people's ideas of feminism are like second or third hand because they're hearing what they think people have told them about big mean feminists, and they're not actually listening to feminists themselves and seeing what feminism is about. So yeah. Hi Ophi, congrats on the article. You consistently represent one of the most nuanced, frank, and thorough voices on this platform. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, 80% is crazy, but explains the intensity of so many comments. Yeah. I think it was an excellent choice to have a content creator speak on this, given how much of the topic is about online content. Yeah. And when we were hanging up, he was thanking me for the time, and he was like, I'm really pleased to get a chance to talk to somebody like yourself who is a content creator and who's not just recycling everybody else's bad information. And I told him that is such a validating thing to say to me, especially as an actual journalist, that somebody can look at my content and see that I am doing my own research and I'm not just summarizing what somebody said on Reddit or God forbid. I've talked about this before, but one time Kirsty pulled up an article and then she asked ChatGPT to tell her what to tell her audience about it. And she told her audience she was just saying what ChatGPT said. And I was like, this is worthless. This is slop. This is definitionally slop. But I don't know. Maybe she asked ChatGPT what to think about this Guardian article too. I don't know. This is a right-wing multimedia campaign that is about painting women as inherently lying and manipulative, says Bannet Weiser. That's why people say Me Too has gone too far. That's what Andrew Tate says, that's what radicalized young men say, that women are trying to manipulate them. They're liars, they make false accusations, their whole goal is to ruin men. That is the broader cultural context in which this case and the media attention to this case starts to make sense. Yes. Literally, 100% agree. While privileged white women like Lively and Heard might not be the ideal torchbearers for all victims of abuse, in this context they are painted as avatars for modern feminism and leftist overreach, all the better to contrast them with a more traditionalist, conservative ideal of femininity. That idea of some women being seen as manipulative and lying, and other women being seen as virtuous and responding to a higher calling of motherhood and family and husband, seems to characterize some of the gender cultural dynamics at play right now, Bannet Weiser observes. This demarcation of ideal femininity, at least in the United States, is rooted in a very particular reactionary authoritarian politics. Nobody really knows who is telling the truth in the Lively Baldoni saga, but if the case ever does come to trial, as well as sending the internet into meltdown, it could shed light on far more than simply who said and did what to whom. Whatever the outcome, the battle being fought right now, outside the courtroom, on social and mainstream media, could be more significant. I think he meant couldn't. In terms of women coming forward as victims of abuse and sexual violence especially, but also in terms of how much we trust what's presented as popular opinion, and by extension, how easily it can be manipulated, whether in pop culture or in politics, assuming they're two different things. Yeah, I think I'm a little thrown by could be more significant. I think it's couldn't. Or maybe he means it could become more significant. I feel a little bit bad that I jumped on that. But I was a little bit thrown by it earlier too. Anyway, I love this article. I think it's really, really great. I'm genuinely, I know I said this in my community tab post too, but like I am honored to have had a chance to be part of this and to talk to Steve Rose about this. I think that this was amazing. This is really, really good. I'm so happy that this article is out. I think it's really good. I'm wondering if I'm mentioned again in Kirsty's new video. It's fine. It's fine. We have our Breaking Dawn video coming out in at 2 p.m. I think I comment blocked a lot of the Kirsty dragons last time. But also like, yeah, I mean, when something happens and people who hate me notice that I'm like starting to get attention, sometimes they do come over and try to be a piece of shit to me, and like it's fine because there's exciting things going on. Like this is very exciting. People also tried to like come at me and take the wings out of my sails after my podcast episode with Taylor Lorenz, and they were not successful at making me any less happy about that. I'm still really excited and really grateful that I got to be on Taylor's podcast. And also this is like for sure because of Taylor, that Steve found me, because he mentioned that he was watching my podcast episode with her where I like broke down the misogyny slop ecosystem. So that was really cool. We'll see. I'm gonna actually, I'll just refresh while I'm right here and see if I've already gotten any comments from Kirsty fans. Yes, we do. We have a lot of comments from Kirsty fans already. Awesome. Cool. Somebody commented, "You are wrong" on Kirsty Flaw is a mean girl. Oh, this is cute. This is so cute. My dear, coming from an original old-time feminist, I can attest that your premise that one can only be a feminist if one believes all women are right and all men are wrong is not a true feminist attitude. The belief any woman who questions another woman's veracity, look it up if you don't know the meaning, is in some way misogynistic, is antithetical to the basic premise of women's equality. In fact, those beliefs you espouse are closer to the 1950s, 60s male attitude that only men could think, only men could reason, that the little women should think, do, believe what her men folk decided. You have just substituted your beliefs and the beliefs of other faux feminists for the men folk you are supposedly, as a feminist, are against. It's a shame you have grown up in the socially privileged world that we, the original feminists, fought for, because we believed that all women had the right to think, speak, and earn equally to men. You, my dear, are a poser, and from what I've read, a copyright thief stealing from other women. Shame. An original feminist is here in my comment section, guys. I should be so honored. Literally, the maternal condescension, exactly. And women want to throw that at me all the time, and it's like, okay, cool, well, I'm 26 years old and I'm smarter than you, so I guess that's pretty embarrassing, huh? If you've been doing this for so long and you can't tell something that is so fucking obviously misogynistic, that's pretty fucking embarrassing for you. Not embarrassing to me. I don't feel ashamed by your little condescension about how you're a real feminist because you hate women, but, Jesus. She threw the first brick at Stonewall, Ophi. Have some respect. I didn't know there were people 150 years old still on YouTube. Literally. Shame is what I say to my cats when they scratch my door frames. It's probably gonna be really good for like my traffic, honestly, for this month if they're all coming. That's literally Susan B. Anthony you're talking about. You're delusional. It's actually so sad to watch. I'm here after watching Kirsty's video. I can say she's right. You're crazy, LOL. No thanks. I love Kirsty Flaw. White heart emoji. Yeah, you guys would use the white one. Why do you think anyone hates Blake or love Justin? It could be any two people. It's about right and wrong, truth and lies. Open your eyes and read everything, not just Blake's side, before making an opinion. Literally have read Justin's side of shit in videos. Now I'm really curious what Kirsty said about me. But again, I don't wanna give her a chance to copyright strike me, so I gotta look at that later. Real original feminists fucking despise women. Get it right, Opie. Real eyes realize real lies, and then they blink with their eyes. Amazing. Okay, yeah. So I think probably people are going to be coming back for my This is so weird. You are full of BS laughing emoji. Blake's supports are hurting Me Too movement and women in general. You should be ashamed. You can dislike Justin, but blindfold for all the rest, it's just ignorance. I don't understand. Somebody also just left like several paragraphs on my Cormac McCarthy video, but I can't tell. Oh my gosh, everything you're saying is disgustingly wrong. Hang on, I can just show you my, can I just show you? There we go. This is better. So yeah, just so you could see, this is, you know, an hour after Kirsty posted a video where I guess she talked about me. Bunch of comments. Everything you're saying is disgustingly wrong. That's the same person who said, open your eyes and read everything, not just Blake's side. It was the fact that you had her clips on a loop just so you could be monetized? That's not true. I was monetized for like a solid year prior to ever watching Kirsty's clips. These are the same people who write how much prettier her hair is than Blake's hair, for real. A blindfold for all the rest is wild when these types refuse to look at evidence from Blake's side. Exactly. Let's see. Is there more? You're delusional. It's actually so sad to watch. I'm here after watch. I think I already read this one. I'm here after watching Kirsty's video. I can say she's right. You're crazy. He's so gross. Someone told me he sent Lively some creepy text mentioning how if she knew him better in person, she would know that his love language is doing inappropriate things with no teeth. Poor woman. I would be so creeped out. They're trying to like trick me, but they are not smart enough to play chess, and they think they're playing chess with a dog. No thanks. I love Kirsty Flaw. Here's the original suffragette. You are full of BS. Blake's supports are hurting Me Too movement one. Cormac McCarthy one. You are wrong. So just in an hour, a bunch of comments she has already sent my way. It's fine. I figured that was probably gonna happen. I didn't realize she was gonna be on it so fast. I didn't realize how quickly she could shit out a video. That is interesting. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, somebody's commenting puke emojis on my on my Instagram. Thanks. Thanks, Kirsty. They're playing chess with Kirsty's shitty-eyed white dog, and the dog is winning. Literally, it's gonna be great for my engagement. Like, honestly, everybody who leaves me a comment where they're like leaving me some shit in Kirsty Flaw's favor is sitting through an ad. Like, I don't think these people are smart enough to use ad blockers. They're, especially if they're doing it on my phone, they are like tangibly paying me for their like shitty little comment. Like, I don't care. It's good. It puts my shit in the algorithm. One thing I do think is a little bit funny is I have lost a couple of followers actually since this article came out and since I shared it, which, like, it could be just a coincidence. I think it's probably like what happened with my video about the epilogue, though, where people unfollowed me, but then so many more people followed me because of it that it evened out. Because I lost like 5 followers when I first posted my Hunger Games epilogue video, but then it evened out because I got like 200 new followers or something like that from there. So I have to imagine that some of the people who have followed me from my Hunger Games videos did not realize that I ride so hard for Blake Lively, and then they saw me post that article, and 3 of them or whatever, it was a very low number, but a couple of people did unfollow me, and I'm like, oh, you unfollowed me because you don't know what I'm about. You'll learn, and you'll find your way out, and the people who want to be here will find their way in. And I do think that the Guardian interview is going to do a lot in that regard, in terms of like helping people find me, and also just like, even if it doesn't, it's still just like, it's so incredibly validating and amazing to have gotten a chance to be part of that. I'm really stoked. Steve also just emailed me and said that he put a copy in the mail for me. So that's gonna go probably like on my back wall. I'm very excited about that. I think that's so awesome. Yes, my haters literally keeping me fed. It is a bad time to be preying on my downfall. Yeah, so amazing. That was really fun. I'm really glad that we got to read that together. I'm glad that we got to hang out today. I'm so excited. My favorite thing is when they always say how everything you said is wrong but never specify, because the second they do, you can easily debunk their talking points. Exactly. Because I bet Kirsty probably said, like, oh, everything she said is wrong. And then they're just like, oh, well, if Kirsty said that's true, that's true. But yeah. Yes, of course. Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you so much to everybody for congratulating me and being so encouraging and excited with me. This was really fun. I'm uploading, again, 2 p.m. today, 2.5 hour long video about Breaking Dawn Part 1 and the like pro-forced birth and sex negativity and Mormon propaganda all in Breaking Dawn Part 1. I'm very excited about that article. I'm very excited about this article. I'm very excited about the video that's coming out. I feel like it's going to be a good week. And so I'll see you all again very soon. And thank you so much for hanging out. I love you very much. Bye.